All right, Randall Hughes with GodGlorified.com, and we're commenting on our Bible reading for September the 26th, in which we completed the book of Esther, the ending of chapter 9 and then chapter 10, and then began in Ezra, and we read portions from chapter 7 and chapter 8. And so we're in the year about 474 is when we began with the Feast of Purim, the first one, when the Jews withstood against the enemies that began with Haman, who was by this time put to death, and a total of over 57,000. In fact, it would have been over 56,000 if you count the 500 that were killed at Shushan. And so the first Feast of Purim, which Mordecai and Esther proclaimed to the Jews to keep in remembrance, and then the way that Ahasuerus used Mordecai and called him great, and he was called great and deemed great, and did seeking the wealth of his brethren and speaking peace to all the Jews, or his seed. And so just a reminder that the key verse, though, in the book of Esther to me is chapter 9, verse 17, where it tells that many of the people of the land became Jews, and the fear of the Jews fell upon them. And so they began to revere and the God of Israel, although his name is not found in the book. And once again, maybe it was because the scribes or whoever was writing this, whether the Persians or the Medes, this would have been Persian, would have sought to remove their name, the name of their God, for in favor of their God. Who knows all the variables on why that happened the way it is? But we certainly see the hand of God at work in multiple ways in the book of Esther. In Artaxerxes' decree in Ezra chapter 7, verse 12, it's interesting that it says, the King of Kings unto Ezra the priest, a scribe of the law of the God of heaven, perfect peace, and at such a time. Now is a time. We live in a world that is full of turmoil, wars, there's violence, innocent blood being shed. It's a sad time. And yet we can have the peace of God that passes understanding in our hearts, in knowing that he is in control. That is the main thing to keep focus and keep mindful of, that he's in control of our circumstances. And something interesting I saw in Ezra chapter 7, verse 24, it sounds like, and I don't know, this may go back even further. I think in Israel it was the case as well, but here they are in a foreign land, and it is through the proclamation through Ezra from the king that it shall not be lawful to impose tolls, tributes, or customs upon the priests, the Levites, the singers, porters, or the Nethinims, or ministers of God's house. And so that was something interesting to see there in the year somewhere now, possibly about 459 is where this is deemed to be taking place during the time of Ezra. And back in Israel, in the land of Israel at Jerusalem, where they're trying to rebuild the temple and have rebuilt it. And so Ezra now is gathering those that can help to teach the law and to teach it to the little ones. And chapter 8, verse 21, it speaks of their prayer and fasting, that he could show the right way for us and for our little ones and for all our substance. And that's certainly a prayer that we need to be praying and fasting and asking God to help just show us the right way for our young ones, our little ones, our families, and to show unto them the paths of righteousness. And we ended at verse 10 from chapter 7. And I like this verse because it said, Ezra had prepared his heart to seek the law of Yahweh and to do it, and to teach in Israel statutes and judgments. And so I just want to commission you to seek and prepare your heart to seek after the word of God and the law of God, and to do it and to teach others. And so that's what we're striving to do. And that's part of the purpose of this channel, is to encourage others to love God with all their heart, soul, mind, and strength, to love His Word, to love truth, and to seek after Him with all your being. God bless you.